I want to show you how we took a startup B2B SaaS company and took it to over $500,000 a month. For context, my name is David Tainch. I've been building out customer acquisition platforms for over 20 years. And this is part of a whole blueprint that I do called an amazing social media sales machine. So what we did first of all is we created a brief outline of the route that we were going to do. And what we're going to do is we're going to generate leads via a webinar registration. We will then engage via retargeting and email. We're going to close them via a call because this is a high ticket item and the lifetime value is between about 6k and 18k. So this is the end business model that we actually created. So what we ended up doing was we ended up generating leads for about $5 each one, and then 1 in 12 of those jumped on a call, so that was $60. So the CPA ended up being $240. So basically for the first year, like the lifetime value was about 5k profit. Basically, I mean, to get them into webinar, $5, etc. And it worked through, and this became their business model. So as you can see, that is quite profitable. You know, for 240, you've got a 5k profit, and that's pretty much for the year. So let's have a look at how we outlined the strategy. What we did first of all is we created user personas because we wanted to identify the perfect customer. We then looked at the sales funnel. We looked at the user journey from lead to close. We realised we're going to have to make engagement content. So we looked, this is going to convert them. And the webinar, we're going to use a hero. So it's called the hero story. And then we then sale close, and then onboarding. So this is basically the outline. I'm going to go into it in more depth now. When you create user personas, you have it's a survey, and the survey's got about 20 questions in there. It's called quantitative research and qualitative research. And the quantitative is basically the demographics. Who is buying? The qualitative is why. And so when you create the user personas, what you do is you ask them, there's a few more questions than this, but you sit and say, what problem do we solve for you? And you really want that to understand that fully, because that is how you're going to sell this. What are your future desires? Where do you want to be? Because that's what you're effectively selling this, and say, right, you've got this problem in the future. We can put you here if you buy this product. And then we have objections, because you always want to handle the objections at the beginning of the sales process, not the end. And so we sit there and say, you know, what objections did you have to buying this? And we sit there and say who, and that is the demographics. So who actually are you? So then we can target you. So we then create a webinar, and the webinar is problem based. And what we basically say is how we solved X webinar, and X will be the problem that they want solved, because we want them to fully know that we are experts at solving that problem, and we can solve it better than they can. We then put in the webinar, here is your future self, and this is where you're going to be. We handle the objections, and the webinar format is a format called the hero story. I actually go more into this on my full course. But so we then create what is engagement content. When you create content, you really want to create 3 different types. You create stuff for commercial intent, and that is when people are researching what they want to buy. So imagine you're buying a new mountain bike. You would start off searching on Google. You start saying best mountain bikes of whatever year, 2024. And that is when you are in commercial intent. You then have transactional intent, where you are then looking at offer. You've decided what you're going to buy and you're looking for an offer. And when you then have keywords, and this is basically search engine based stuff, which is easy to pick off. I'm not going to go fully into it now. I do in the bigger course, but that's where you're sat in there, and there are a lot of keywords that you can very easily get for your company, and you then use those to generate traffic. So we then create the social media sales funnel. We have the lead generation adverts. So we've created these user personas, so we know the targeting, and we're going to create leads to then target that demographic and push them into a webinar. We then have the engagement content, and the engagement content is typically the past results. Here is someone who we've done some work for exactly like you, and here is the results that they get. We then have the transactional content, and that is the special offers. And this is how we're going to create the sales funnel. We then have the free consultation sales call, because what we do is we push them into the webinar, and at the end of the webinar we say, do you want to jump on a call? And the call is really made up of 3 real sections: discovery, and you ask the right questions, and then you have a solution presentation, and you make reference to the questions and their issues, and you then close them. And this is how we built out the sales funnel for a B2B SaaS company. And this is part of a bigger course that I do called the Amazing Social Media Sales Machine. In that, it's a quite a big course. And what I show you, first of all, I show you how to target the perfect client. That's creating user personas. I go really in depth in there, and I'll help you do it. I then show you how to create a content strategy. That's the engagement content, the webinars, everything like that. I show you how to do social media advertising. So I show you step by step how you set up campaigns in Facebook, Reddit, LinkedIn, YouTube, all of them. And I then show you how to make social media army, influencer army. And I've got a little bit on there showing you how to use AI for social media. It's actually a lot bigger than this. And it's delivered in, there's a course, and there's video tutorials, etc. Then there's blueprints. And these are plans that you can just copy over to your system. And if you need any help, we can always just jump on a call on Zoom. So it'd be really good to see you on the other side. You can email me or use live chat if you need any further details. Thank you very much.